If you can, it's your boy Billboard John 25 minutes. I'm gonna do my WWE Raw review and highlights. So you guys are new, hit that like button and hit that red button, and let's get started. Monday Night Raw started off very good. It started off very good until the Lana segment came by. So it is what it is. So let's get started on this Raw review. We're live from the Toyota Arena in Ontario, California, as the pyro explodes. Tom Phillips welcomes us and reminds us we're only 55 days away from WrestleMania 36. Tom is joined by Byron Saxton and WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler. They hype tonight's show, the big 8-man main event. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch defending against the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Asuka. Plus Drew McIntyre on the VIP lounge with MVP. We go right to the ring, and Mike Rome does the introduction as Raw Tag Team Champions. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy are already standing there with the Artists of Pain, Akam and Rezar. Rollins welcomes us to Raw and says he is proud to stand here as our Monday Night Messiah. Fans boo. Rollins talks about how he didn't like the new nickname, but at first he has grown on him and he understands he has to lead the people because they can't do it for themselves. Rollins shows us footage from last week's 6-man with the Viking Raiders and Kevin Owens versus AOP and Murphy. Rollins goes on and on about how he's frustrated with Owens and his friends. Rollins says they aren't leaving the ring tonight until their message is heard. The music interrupts and out comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens and Rollins trade words until Owens brings the Viking Raiders. They end up going in the ring, but Murphy and AOP meet them at ringside. The 6 superstars brawl at ringside as Rollins watches from the ring. Samoa Joe comes from behind and draws Rollins into the coquina clutch as fans goes wild. Murphy and AOP makes the save for Rollins. The Viking Raiders and Owens enter the ring to continue the big brawl. Murphy is left alone in the ring with a babyface. Owens delivers a big stunner and sending Murphy out of the ring. Joe music hits and they celebrate and pose in the ring. Raw Women's title match, Asuka versus Becky Lynch. This match was just decent. This match was decent. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch makes her way to the ring while other superstars are still wrapping up the open segment. The man hits the ring and pose as we go to commercial. Back from the break, and out comes WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors, which is I don't care about them. Asuka with Kairi Sane. Asuka talks trash on the mic, but just laughing and carrying on. Some in Japanese. Becky and everyone else looks confused. We get formal ring introductions from Mike Rome. Back and forth to start the match. They trade counters and attempts for a few minutes. Becky fights up and they taunt each other. Lynch rocks Asuka and starts working on the arm as fans chant her name. Asuka blocks a pin attempt, but Becky keeps her grounded with a side headlock. Kairi Sane cheers Asuka on. They get up and run the ropes, but Becky Lynch drops Asuka with a big shoulder as fans pop. Lynch flex and shows off, but Asuka rocks her a few times. Becky Lynch sends Asuka back down. Lynch charges in the corner but misses. Kairi Sane ends up on the apron with Lynch. Sane taunts Lynch. Lynch goes for a big boot but misses as Kairi Sane jumps back to the floor. Asuka takes advantage of the distraction and knocks Becky Lynch to the floor with a hip attack. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and Asuka is in control. Fans try to rally for Becky as Asuka keeps her grounded in the middle of the ring. Becky fights up and out, but Asuka hits another hip attack. Asuka keeps charging, but Becky fights back with series of clotheslines and drop kicks now. Fans pop for Becky as she kicks Asuka back down. More back and forth now. Becky blocks a German suplex. Asuka avoids to disarm her. Asuka with a big boot to the face. Asuka drives Lynch down with a sit-down powerbomb. Variation, but Becky Lynch still kicks out at 2. Asuka charged, but Becky avoids it. Lynch ends up sending Asuka to the floor. Lynch flies off the apron, but takes out Kairi Sane instead of Asuka as Kairi Sane sacrifices herself. Asuka takes advantage and draws Lynch from behind with a kick. Asuka brings it back in the ring, but runs into a huge boot to the face. Becky Lynch comes off the top, but Asuka catches her with a cold breaker in midair for another close 2 count. Kairi Sane and Asuka can't believe it. Becky Lynch avoids the Asuka lock, but Asuka sends her shoulder first into the ring post. Becky Lynch dodges a hip attack, and Asuka gets stuck in the ropes. Becky Lynch applies a disarmer on the ropes, but the referee counts. They tangle some more on the apron now. Becky Lynch ends up driving Asuka down on the apron for a pop from the crowd. We go to commercial. Back from the break, and Asuka hits a big superplex for a close 2 count. Asuka shows some frustrations now, delivering the dropkick to the face for another pin attempt. Asuka goes right into an armbar. Becky Lynch finally powers up for a triangle, dropping Asuka back down into the mat. Asuka kicks out at 2 as Kairi Sane yells at them. Fans chant, "This is awesome. This is awesome now." Asuka dodges Becky top rope leg drop and goes right into the Asuka lock. Becky Lynch struggles on the mat as they tangle some more. They trade pin attempts. Becky Lynch decks a kick and rolls Asuka for another 2 count. Asuka blocks the disarm her again for a pin attempt. Becky Lynch ends up driving Asuka back down and covering for the pin to retain. The winner of the match is still Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. After this match, this was a brutal spot. After the match, Becky stands tall as her music hits. Becky raised the title in the air until WWE NXT superstar Shayna Baszler suddenly attacks out of nowhere, dropping Becky Lynch from behind. Shayna Baszler works Becky Lynch over and then goes after the back of the neck. After the back of her neck. Baszler bites the back of Becky Lynch's neck and comes back up with blood pouring all over her mouth. Shayna Baszler screams out as the referee checks on Becky, who is rolling around in pain as the referee checks on her. Some fans boo Shayna Baszler as she marches up the ramp. A frantic Becky is talking with the referee with blood everywhere. The referee puts on his gloves and then tends to Becky as they see paramedics coming down to check on the man. Becky Lynch insists she's fine. She yells at one paramedic to take it easy as they try to check on the wound. Back to commercial with a split screen as Becky Lynch is helped away from ringside. That was a brutal spot by Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler bite Becky Lynch's back of the neck like a vampire. Just bite Becky Lynch's neck out. Becky Lynch's blood pouring out of her mouth. That was a brutal spot. But anyway, moving on. Mojo Rawley and Riddick Moss versus Street Profits. This match was just garbage. I didn't really care about this match. Alright. Back from the break. And WWE 24/7 Championship, Mojo Rawley is in the ring with Riddick Moss. We see Becky Lynch backstage insisting she doesn't need a medical attention. The Street Profits are out next. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. They celebrate with fans in the ring. Tom says Mojo 24/7 title is not up for grabs during this match. Fans chant, "We want the smoke," as the Street Profits takes the mic. They take shots at Mojo Rawley and we get the bell. There is some back and forth to start, but the Street Profits quickly puts Moss away after a double team spine buster and splash combo. The winner of the match, the Street Profits. This match was garbage. After the match, Mojo comes in to help Moss back to his feet. Moss rolls Mojo up and pins him to become the new WWE 24/7 champion. Moss takes off with the title. That title was garbage. We see Becky Lynch backstage still arguing with the officials and paramedics. She ends up stealing the ambulance and driven away with some sirens on. That part was funny. I love Becky Lynch, don't get me wrong. But that segment was funny. But anyway, we go to the ring for the return of the VIP lounge as MVP makes his way to the ring. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and MVP is in the ring with the setup for the VIP lounge. Some fans chant his name. He gives the intro and says he gave back because he had an itch to scratch, and he's still balling like Roddy Rich. MVP goes on and introduces his guest for tonight. Out comes Drew McIntyre for a pop. Drew marches down the ramp and he's stopped by two guys at the bottom of the ramp who aren't sure about letting him through the MVP's red ropes. They want to check his name on the guest list, but he powers past them and hits the ring. MVP gives Drew some props for doing things his own way. They mentioned the WrestleMania 36 match with WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. Drew jokes about pointing the sign, and he does for a pop. MVP wants Drew to keep his eye on the prize and ignore what the non-VIP people are saying behind his back. MVP goes on about some people think Drew isn't ready to be champion. Not MVP, but some people. MVP goes on, and there's some tensions brewing. MVP wants to be Drew McIntyre's business manager to help guide him. Drew says that's the catch. Drew says maybe MVP could be his Paul Heyman. MVP agrees, but he would be a much better looking version. Drew says the difference between he and Lesnar is that they doesn't need an internal brain thinking for him, someone talking for him, or a business partner kissing issues, like MVP is doing. MVP says Drew knows better. He never's been in kisser, but he is in kicker. They face off for a second. Drew goes to leave, but MVP grabs his arm and tells him not to turn his back because he needs MVP. Drew drops MVP with the Galasco kiss headbutt. Drew gets hyped up and takes his shirt and jacket off as fans pop. He counted down from 3 and drops MVP with a Claymore kick. When he gets up, Drew mocks the balling Guster for a laugh from the crowd. Drew poses in the ring corner, pointed up at the WrestleMania sign as his music hits. We go to replays. Drew marches out of the ring and starts to intimidate the guy controlling access to the VIP lounge. Drew poses on the stage and yells out one more time to end the segment. The announcer shows us a video package on Randy Orton's recent attack to WWE Hall of Famer Edge. Orton will be here tonight to explain the attack. Still to come, Angel Garza will be in action. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we see Seth Rollins and his crew backstage. Angel Garza versus Cedric Alexander. This match was alright. This match was okay to me, but it just, I haven't seen Cedric Alexander for a long time in WWE. But anyway, it was just decent to me. We go back to the ring, and Cedric Alexander waits in the ring as NXT superstar Angel Garza comes out with Zelina Vega. Vega takes the mic and shows us how Garza debuted on Raw last week by taking out his cousin Humberto Carrillo and then going at it with Rey Mysterio. Garza takes the mic and talks some trash until Carrillo runs down the ring and they tackles Garza. Carrillo unloads on Garza until the officials and security hit the ring to pull him off. Garza talks trash from the floor, but Carrillo is head back. Security and the referee back Carrillo up the ramp as Vega and Garza taunt him from ringside. My favorite part was that Cedric Alexander sat on the top turnbuckle pad and he was just chilling. And he was just watching Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza go at it. That was my favorite part. But anyway, the referee orders Garza into the ring. The bell rings and Cedric tries to attack, but the referee backs him off. Vega provides a distraction and Garza takes advantage, dropping Cedric Alexander. Garza grounds Cedric and works on his arm now. Cedric turns it right around, but Garza breaks it with a back headbutt. Garza sends Cedric to the apron, but Garza right back in and hits the Hurricanrana. Cedric clotheslines Garza and unloads with kicks as fans cheer him on. Cedric with a running forearm in the corner and a big drop kick to the back of the neck. Cedric kips up for a pop. Garza goes out for a breather. Cedric tries to attack through the ropes, but Garza catches him and slams him on the floor as Vega applauds. Garza looks to expose the concrete as the referee counts. He changes his mind and goes back to the ring, but gets rocked and sends into the burial. Cedric brings it back in and goes to the top, but Garza drop kicks him in midair. Garza rips his pants off for another pop. Garza grabs Cedric and hits the wing clipper in the middle of the ring for the pin to win. The winner of the match, Angel Garza. After the match, Garza is all smiles as he stands with Vega in the ring. We go to replay with the music play. The announcer shows us how the NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley interrupted Charlotte Flair's last week on Raw. No mention of Flair appearance on NXT. Charlie Caruso is backstage with Rhea Ripley now, asking if she's still waiting for an answer from the Queen. Rhea Ripley says no because she gets out and does what needs to be done. Charlie brings up the Takeover Portland match with Bianca Belair is coming weekend, but Sarah Logan interrupts. Logan isn't happy with Rhea Ripley, thinking she can just come to Raw. They have some words as Rhea Ripley knocks Logan by asking, "Who is she?" It looks like you got a match for later. Rhea Ripley walks off and Logan isn't happy. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Carmella versus Bayley for the title is confirmed for SmackDown. Sarah Schreiber is backstage with Lana and Bobby Lashley for comments on tonight's match with Ricochet. Lana and my Bobby is getting really old and annoying, but she continues. Lashley looks like he might be getting annoying too. Lashley says he will reduce Ricochet to reality tonight. He won't make it into Super Showdown to face WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. Lashley says Lesnar can't thank him for this one. Lana dismisses Schreiber. This segment right here between Bobby Lashley and Lana is garbage. It's garbage. Sarah Logan versus Rhea Ripley. We go back to the ring and out comes Sarah Logan with a mic. She has words for Rhea Ripley and introduces herself. Out next comes the NXT Women's Champion for a match. Ripley hits the ring, but the music interrupts and out comes Charlotte Flair. Flair waves at Rhea Ripley from the stage and tells her to proceed. The bell rings and Logan attacks, but Rhea Ripley gets the upper hand. Rhea Ripley dominates Logan while looking up at Flair. Ripley dropkicks Logan as Flair claps from the stage. Rhea Ripley with a few more shots before hitting the riptile in the middle of the ring for the squash win. The winner of the match, Rhea Ripley. After the match, Flair claps for the stage as Rhea Ripley stands tall and her music hits. We go to replay. Ripley takes the mic and wants to know where her answer is. Ripley says she gone to Raw and Flair to NXT, but still no answer. Flair says maybe that's just how the Queen operates. Ripley says maybe Flair just like being a royal pain in her. Flair interrupts and has a question before she answers Ripley's question. Flair asks, how do we know that Rhea Ripley will still be the champion after her takeover in Portland? Match with Bianca Belair this Sunday. Flair throws a woo at Ripley from the stage, and her music starts up. Ripley raised the title in the air as they stare each other down. The segment ends without an answer to WrestleMania 36 challenge. Still to come, Lashley versus Ricochet. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and we get a promo from the WrestleMania 37 in Los Angeles. We get a video package on Ricochet winning the recent Fatal 4-Way to earn the Super Showdown title shot from the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. Ricochet versus Bobby Lashley. We go back to the ring, and out comes Bobby Lashley with Lana. Charlie is backstage with Ricochet, now asking about Lashley threats from earlier. Ricochet isn't concerned and says he never backed down from a fight and doesn't plan to start now. Ricochet has dreamed of being the WWE champion for 17 years, and nothing will stop him from the biggest opportunity of his career. Nothing will stop him from walking, crawling, or limping into Super Showdown. The music hits, and out comes Ricochet in the ring now. Ricochet interview on Monday Night Raw, it's awful. Ricochet interview is awful. He just need to get better with the mic, with his mic skills. It's just awful by Ricochet. It's just awful. Alright, this match is presented by the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. The bell rings and Ricochet attacks in the corner. Ricochet keeps trying to mouth offense by Lashley drops him in the corner. Ricochet used some of his speed to get over on Lashley, but Lashley drops him with ease using a shoulder. Lashley pressed Ricochet high over his head, but the slides out. Bobby Lashley still drops him. Ricochet fights back with kicks after they tangle near the apron. Ricochet ends up kicking Lashley to the floor. Ricochet runs the ropes and hits a big suicide dive. Ricochet brings Lashley back into the ring but fights back. Ricochet tosses Bobby Lashley back to the floor. Ricochet runs and leaps out again, taking Lashley back to commercial. More back and forth after the break. Ricochet keeps fighting and lands another big kick. Lashley ends up launching Ricochet to the top of the ring post. Ricochet falls out to the floor and lands hard. Lana cheers Lashley on as we get a replay. Lashley falls to the floor and works Ricochet over against the barrier, now keeping him down. Lashley picks Ricochet back up and tosses him into the barrier as Lana applauds. Lashley brings it back into the ring. Lashley with a suplex for a 2 count. Lashley grounds Ricochet in the middle of the ring as we get a split screen with a trailer of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which is the presentation and sponsor of this match. Ricochet tries to get up, but Lashley keeps hitting him with a big knees to the gut. Ricochet fights back and drops Lashley with the enziguri. Ricochet keeps fighting and sends Lashley to the corner, but Lashley is still standing. Ricochet with a kick to the face. Ricochet drop kicks Lashley into the corner. Ricochet goes on and hits a big crossbody from from crossbody from up high, then a running, standing, shooting star press. Lashley still kicks out at 2. Ricochet scoots Lashley when he gets up, but Lashley climbs his way right out. Lashley dumps Ricochet to the mat after blocking a few shots. Lashley overpowers again and hits a massive spine buster in the middle of the ring. Ricochet somehow kicks out and Lashley can't believe it. Lashley with a big forearm to the back. Lashley takes Ricochet to the top for a back superplex, but Ricochet landed on his feet. Everyone is shocked. Ricochet unloads with kicks in the corner. Ricochet goes to the top as fans pop. Ricochet hits the 630 from the top for the pin to win. The winner of the match, Ricochet. After the match, a furious Lana throws a fit at ringside. As Ricochet music hits, we go to replay. Still to come, Randy Orton will be here. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and Tom plugs Charlotte Flair's appearance on the WWE backstage tomorrow night. We see replay of Shayna Baszler attacking Becky Lynch. We see a replay of Shayna Baszler attacking Becky Lynch earlier tonight, following her title defense over Asuka. We also see how Becky stole the ambulance. We go to the ring and out comes Randy Orton. Orton enters the ring as fans boo him. He takes his time and looks out around the arena like he did last week. Orton takes the mic and says he still owes everyone an explanation for what he did 2 weeks ago in the WWE Hall of Famer Edge. Orton says what he did to Edge hurt him more than it did Edge. Before he continued, the music interrupts and out comes Matt Hardy to a pop. Fans chant delete as Matt Hardy walks to the ring with a mic. Matt says he and everyone else wants to know why Orton did it. Matt Hardy is in the ring now. Matt says Orton is possibly thinking, why does Matt give a you-know-what about Edge? Matt talks about his history with Edge and fans chant for the WWE Hall of Famer leader. Matt says there was a time when he absolutely hated Edge. But before that, he and his brother Jeff Hardy were really close with Edge and Christian. Matt goes on about how they revolutionized the ladder match fans chant TLC, and Matt goes on about what they did the TLC match and how it will be a staple in WWE forever. Matt Hardy says they went to WrestleMania a few times and stole the show multiple times, and they did it together. Matt Hardy goes on about Edge retirement and how he finally made the most Marco Illusion return ever 9 years later, but Orton took that away. Matt tells Orton to look at him. Matt asks what is wrong with Orton. Orton goes to speak but tries for an RKO instead. Matt blocks it and they tangle. Orton blocks a side effect and then drops Matt with the RKO in the middle of the ring. Some fans boo it as Orton goes to the timekeeper's area to bring a few steel chairs in the ring now. Randy Orton placed one chair under Matt's head and then uses another chair to smash his head as referee runs down. It's too late. Orton drops the bench chair and stands over Matt Hardy as fans continue to boo. Orton rolls out of the ring as referees come in to check on Matt. Fans boo as we go to replay. Orton stops on the stage and turns around as the boos get louder. Randy Orton stares back at the ring and we go to commercial. Back from the break, we see how Liv Morgan was attacked by the returning Ruby Riott. Sarah Schreiber is backstage with Ruby Riott now, asking why she has so much animosity for her former partner. Ruby says Liv was her best friend and her best friends knowing everything about each other. Ruby says she knows the real Liv and she likes the little puppy dog on a leash. Ruby says she's not buying this new Liv, who act like she can strike when she wants to. Ruby says Liv is a follower and she comes back to put in her place to remind Liv that she strikes when she says so. Ruby walks off. So this rivalry between Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, I don't mind it. I don't mind seeing that. Seeing Liv Morgan versus Ruby Riott feud. I don't mind seeing that. Aleister Black versus Akira Tozawa. Do I care about this match? No, I wasn't excited about this match. We go back to the ring, and out comes Aleister Black as Akira Tozawa waits in the ring. The bell rings and Tozawa avoids a big boot. Tozawa dodges a shot again, but Black ends up sending him to the mat. Black runs into the boots in the corner. Tozawa with a drop kick to drop Black. Tozawa mounts some offense, but Black nails a big pop-up knee strike in the middle of the ring. Black stands over Tozawa and lifts him up with his foot. Black then levels Tozawa with a big black mask. Black takes his time covering for the pin to get the easy win. The winner of the match, Aleister Black. After the match, Black sits up next to Tozawa and his music hits. We go to replay and comes back to Black standing tall. Black takes the mic and says he's enjoying these past few weeks, getting to share these intimate moments with fans as he as a perspective of every person here tonight, because that is what all about. Black says everyone here tries to escape to giving an idea of paradise one way or another. He knows a thing or two about rebelling the paradise. As for himself, Black is starting to feel like an animal inside of a cage. He takes a seat in the middle of the ring again, and the lights go down, and a spotlight shine on him. Black says those who come out now on should know it's not him in the ring with them. It's them who will be trapped in the cage with him. We see Becky Lynch walking in the back after returning to the arena in the ambulance. Sirens blurring. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a promo for WrestleMania 36, which just 55 days away. The announcer showed us a family at ringside who received a seat upgrade from Little Caesars. We go back to the ring, and out comes Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, and she's all business. Becky Lynch takes the mic as fans chant her name. Baszler says the doctor number her up, gave her some real nice of the pain, and now she's back on Raw to smash her face in. Becky calls Baszler out. Becky says Shayna got her attention. She doesn't care how tough Shayna is or she hangs out with, because she ran through them all. Becky says she will break Baszler down week by week, little by little. Becky says Baszler better find her before she finds her first. She tosses the mic and exits the ring. Her music hits. Becky marches back up the ramp. We see Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens backstage walking with Viking Raiders. Back to commercial. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders versus Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy and the Artists of Pain. Okay, we go back to the ring for tonight's main event, and out comes Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders, Eric and LeVar. Out next comes Raw Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy and the Artists of Pain, Akam and Rezar. Rollins takes the mic before the match and goes to speak, but a big brawl breaks out. Both teams spill out to the floor and keeps fighting. Back to commercial before the bell hits. Back from the break, and the match is underway. Joe unloads on Murphy earlier on, Joe drops Murphy in the corner and then nails in Insecurity. Owens tags in and hits a big elbow drop in the corner. Owens taunts Rollins and he tries to come in. LeBar tags in and slams Murphy as Eric also tags in. Eric slams LeBar on the top of Buddy Murphy. Eric covers for a 2 count on Murphy. Akam ends up tagging in and beating Eric down. Eric tries to hold Akam's leg, but he gets kicked. Rezar tags in for a big ALP double team. Rezar drops Eric with a big knee for a 2 count. Rezar claws away on Eric now. Murphy comes back in, keeps control. Eric knocks the others off the apron and allows on Murphy. LeBar tags in with a big power move and a splash on Murphy. LeBar and others down on the apron and dukes it out with Murphy. Murphy tries to use his speed, but LeBar levels him with a huge clothesline for a pop. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and Akam brings Owens back in the ring for a 2 count. Murphy tags in and keeps him down, then tosses him out of the ring. Murphy distracts the referee allowing Seth Rollins to rock Owens on the floor. We get a big follow-away slam into the burial now. Owens crawls, but Rollins rolls Murphy in to stop the tag. Akam tags in and drags Owens back to their corner. Rezar tags in with a big elbow in the ribs for a quick pin attempt on Owens. Rezar keeps Owens grounded in the middle of the ring now. Akam tags back in for the double team on Owens. Rollins played the crowd from the apron and then mostly boos him. Owens tries to fight to his corner, but Akam takes him back down and works him over. Murphy tags in and allows on Owens again, grounding him to the mat. Now fans try to rally for Owens. Owens fights up and now trading strikes with Murphy. Owens rocks Murphy and then rocks Seth Rollins off the apron with the right hand. Owens spikes Murphy into the mat with a big DDT. Samoa Joe gets the hot tag and unloads on Rollins as he also comes in. Fans pop Rollins boots Joe in the corner off the second rope, but Joe nails an integral atomic drop. Joe keeps the offense going and sends Rollins to the floor. Joe goes to runs the ropes for a dive, but AOP gets on the apron and meets him. The Viking Raiders comes in and knocks AOP off the apron. Joe and the Viking Raiders runs the ropes, diving out at the same time on AOP and Rollins. Rollins and Joe trade shots in the ring again. Rollins fights off the Kokita clutch with a jawbreaker. Joe slams Rollins with the Uranagi, but Murphy breaks up at 2. There's chaos in the ring now as everyone gets involved, hitting some of their signature moves as the referee tries to restore order. Owens goes to the top and hits a big cannonball to the floor, taking down ALP and the Viking Raiders against the burial, breaking it. Joe dodges a stomp from Rollins in the ring. Murphy tags in and applauds the Kokita clutch on Rollins. Joe breaks it and applauds it on Murphy now, bringing him down. Rollins breaks it with a stomp while the referee is distracted by LP on the apron. The referee doesn't see Murphy tap out to Joe. Rollins rolls back out after hitting Joe with the stomp. Murphy immediately covers Joe for the pin to win. The winners of the match, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the Authors of Pain, Akam and Rezar. After the match, the heels immediately retreats up the ramp as Rollins. Music hits as they all stand tall together and stare back at the ring, laughing at the losers of the match. The Raw goes off the air. Okay, Monday Night Raw started off the first hour until it went downhill of Bobby Lashley and Lana. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is from there. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my WWE Raw review and highlights, drop a like from this video. Share the video over social media. My Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok links will be down below in the description. And that's all I have to say. You guys have a great night And I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys later, and I'm out of here.